A female boxer. Emma's dream was to be a boxer. All her life, she was told that she couldn't be a boxer because she was a girl. She was told that she should just get a regular job. Her parents told her that she would be killed one day if she kept boxing. It was hard to hear, "You can't," all the time. Emma was still determined to prove everyone wrong. Emma's life was hard. Girls didn't like her because they thought she was too manly. Guys didn't like her because they thought she wasn't as good at boxing as they were. Because of all this, Emma didn't have any friends at school. She always sat alone in the cafeteria, and it was hard for her to find partners for group projects. However, Emma did have friends from her boxing class. They were all female boxers. They understood what Emma was going through because they were in the same position. All they had was each other. They were a family. Because of this, Emma was always excited for boxing class. One day, she was going to be a famous boxer. Only then would everyone regret how they treated her.
A trip to Six Flags. George's best friend was visiting him. Joseph lived in Arizona. George moved to Los Angeles 2 years ago. He hadn't seen Joseph since then. George wanted his friend to have fun. He wanted to convince him to move to Los Angeles with him. George had a great idea. He would take his friend to Six Flags. They didn't have big roller coasters in Arizona. George and Joseph got on a ride called Tatsu. It was huge and had more than 5 loops. Joseph screamed more than any other people. "Isn't this great?" asked George. "If you move here, we'll be coming here all the time." Joseph never returned to Los Angeles again.
Flying cars, listen to this. This newspaper article says that some scientists are working on a new kind of airplane. People can use these flying cars for short trips.
How interesting.
The article says the first flying car might be ready within the next few years.
That's quite soon. How would this flying car work? Can anybody use one? Or is it only for people who know how to fly airplanes?
You don't need to be an airplane pilot to use a flying car. The article says there would be a computer inside the car that would know where you want to go. The driver does not need to control the car unless something goes wrong.
Does the article say how much a flying car would cost? It will probably cost too much money. We would not be able to afford one.
True, but wouldn't it be nice to fly over traffic jams instead of sitting in the middle of them?
Yes, but then we might end up with traffic jams in the sky.
Antarctica. Antarctica is another name for the South Pole. It is also a continent. A long time ago, the South Pole was close to the equator. That was 500 million years ago. It was once joined to Australia. Then, all the land on Earth started to move. Antarctica moved away from Australia and went south. Dinosaur bones were once found at the South Pole. Do you know why? Dinosaurs lived there millions of years ago. This was before it moved away from the equator. About 98% of this continent is frozen. The rest is made up of rock. The South Pole has 87% of the world's ice. But did you know that it gets very little snow? Only about 2 inches of snow falls each year. How many people live on your continent? No one lives in the South Pole. Only animals, like penguins, live there. Scientists and tourists visit there, but they don't stay long. Do you want to visit Antarctica? It is the coldest, driest place on Earth.
Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein is famous around the world. He is famous for his work in science. Many people think that he was the greatest scientist of the 20th century. Einstein was born in Germany in 1879. His interest in science began when he was very young. Someone gave him a compass in 1884. Young Einstein was interested in how it worked. He wanted to learn science. He wanted to become a scientist. Einstein tried to enter a top Swiss university. At first, he met with failure. He did not get a place. But Einstein did not give up easily. He applied again to the same university in the next year. This time he was successful. Einstein was a good student. He graduated from this famous university in 1896. As a scientist, Einstein did important work in the field of physics. His work was very good. He received the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921. In 1933, he went to live in the United States with his wife. Bang E. Once upon a time, there was a poor, kind man named Bang E. He had a rich but greedy brother. One day, Bang E asked his brother to give him some grain seeds to grow. His greedy brother gave Bang E some poison seeds. Only one plant grew from the poison seeds, but Bang E was very happy. He took good care of the plant. Then, one afternoon, a bird came and stole the plant. Bang E chased the bird into the forest. In the forest, he saw two monsters using a magic stick to turn rocks into food. Bang E hid behind a big rock and watched the monsters. The monsters ate a lot of food. Soon, they became very sleepy. When the monsters had fallen asleep, Bang E took their magic stick. He became very rich. Bang Ye's greedy brother went to the forest to find a magic stick for himself. The angry monsters saw him. They chased him deep into the forest. The greedy brother was never seen again.
The perfect gift. Hello, and welcome to Robux. How may I help you?
I would like to buy my wife a home appliance for her birthday.
What sort of appliance are you looking for, sir?
I think a dishwasher might be the perfect gift because it will help with the housework.
Oh yes, dishwashers are very useful. This one here is our most popular model.
How does it work?
It's very simple. First, collect your dirty dishes and scrape off the leftover food into the garbage can. Then, rinse the dishes in the sink. Put glasses, cups, and cutlery on the top rack. Plates, bowls, and pots go face down on the bottom rack. Then, fill this compartment with detergent and close the door. Next, choose the wash cycle. And finally, press the start button. You'll have sparkling clean dishes in 45 minutes.
That sounds easy to use. I think my wife will really like it. How much does it cost?
You're lucky, sir. It's on sale this week for $400.
Great, I'll take it.
Mom and her daughter. Frances did not get along with her mom because they had different personalities and goals. Frances' mom was a CEO of a cell phone company. She was incredibly smart, having gone to Harvard University. Her mom cared a lot about money, success, and appearances. Frances was the opposite. Frances didn't go to college. She started an art business, selling her original art pieces. As long as she could feed herself and live somewhere, it was okay. She also did not mind not being famous. Frances didn't care about her appearance either. Unlike most girls, she has her hair up to her ears, she never shaved, and only owned 10 pieces of clothing. Frances' mom was upset that her daughter chose this lifestyle. Whenever Frances' mom visited her daughter, they would have a fight. Frances' mom would say some rude comments about Frances' lifestyle, and Frances would tell her mom that she was greedy and shallow. Frances wanted her mom to support what she was doing. Frances was going to get married. She wanted to invite her mom to her wedding, but she knew that she wouldn't approve of her fiancé because he was exactly like Frances. However, at the end of the day, Frances loved her mom, so she gave her the wedding invitation.
An interrupted wedding. Frances and Ryan were getting married. They dated for 5 years before Ryan proposed. They were both artists who enjoyed peace and quiet. They wanted a simple wedding with their closest friends and family. They decided to have their wedding in the backyard of Ryan's house. Frances did not want to spend too much money on a dress, so she made her own. Ryan felt the same way and borrowed his dad's suit. Although their wedding wasn't perfect, Frances and Ryan loved each other. The minister asked Frances if she would take Ryan as her husband. Frances said, "I do." The minister then asked Ryan if he would take Frances as his wife. Before he could say yes, someone screamed no. Ryan and Frances looked to the audience. It was Ryan's ex-girlfriend, Karen. Ryan demanded her to be taken out. Ryan's brothers carried Karen out, but Karen bit their arms. She ran up to Frances and ripped her dress. Frances pushed Karen. Ryan told Karen that she needed to leave. Karen wouldn't leave until Ryan called the police. Other than Karen interrupting, the wedding was perfect. Ryan and Frances knew they were going to be together forever.
Snoring. Jill and Dan have been married for 10 years. Jill loves Dan, but she hates his snoring. It is so loud and disgusting. Oftentimes, his snoring wakes her up, and she can't go back to sleep. One night, Dan's snoring was so loud, Jill decided to sleep on the couch. She slept well on the couch. The next morning, Jill's son, Timmy, saw her sleeping on the couch. He thought that she had a fight with his dad. "Mommy, are you and Dad getting a divorce?" Timmy asked. Jill laughed and hugged Timmy. "No, Timmy, your dad just snores a lot." Timmy asked if she snored. Jill wasn't sure. Later Jill asked Dan if she snored. "Yeah, it sounds like a cat meowing," Dad said. "Is that a bad thing?" Jill asked. "Well, it's kind of annoying, but I deal with it," Dan said. Jill was embarrassed that she snored. She went to the doctor to see if she could do anything about it. The doctor gave her a few tips, but said that there was no medicine or cure for snoring. Jill went back home, disappointed. All this time I thought you were the annoying snorer, but I guess I am, too, Jill said. Hey, that's what makes us perfect together, Dan said.